the last class we ended by posing this question mainly as practice exercise for using the various relationships to get difficult to measure thermodynamic variables in terms of easy to measure thermodynamic variables. I hope you had time to work this out. I will give you the solution to begin with, so that it will help you understand the ways of looking at such manipulations a little better. Essentially we are using some few principles in mathematics, theorems in mathematics, to come up with this relationship between the thermodynamic variables to relate, in this particular case, difficult to measure thermodynamic variables to easy to measure thermodynamic variables. This exercise was for a closed system consisting of 1 mole of a pure substance, express in terms of more easily measurable properties the variation of enthalpy and entropy with temperature and pressure respectively. In other words, dou H dou T at constant P, dou S dou T at constant P, and just the flip with P and T, dou H dou P at constant T, dou S dou P at constant T. The way to go about this would be as follows. The first partial derivative was dou H dou T at constant P. If you go back into your notes or into the earlier slides of this lecture, you would actually find that this is the definition of Cp, which is a measured quantity, which is the data of which is available. So we do not have to do anything further. Dou H dou T at constant P is itself a measured quantity. Since the system consists of 1 mole of a pure substance, if you look at the equation 2.6 that we had written earlier, we can write the same equation 2.6 given here, dH equals TdS plus VdP. This is for a closed system consisting of 1 mole of a pure substance. Now if we take the partial derivative of H with respect to T at constant P, dou H dou T at constant P, the first term will be T dou S dou T at constant P, and the second term is going to vanish here because we are forcing P to remain constant. Therefore dP will go to 0 and this term would vanish. Therefore dou H dou T at constant P equals T dou S dou T at constant P. Proceeding further, dou S dou T at constant P equals Cp by T. This you get by comparing the previous equations. Let us go back a little bit. This is dou H dou T at constant P equals Cp, dou H dou T at constant P, we had gotten this as T dou S dou T at constant P. You equate this to this, Cp is easily measurable, and therefore we get dou S dou T at constant P equals Cp by T. So we have handled this also. We will call this equation 235. So we have some more remaining. The variation of entropy S with respect to pressure at constant temperature, dou S dou P with T remaining constant, is actually given by a Maxwell's relation. You go back to your, we had written all 4 equations for 1 mole of a pure substance. You can go back and look at that. Actually equation 227 written for a 1 mole was dou S dou P at constant T equals minus dou V dou T at constant P. Let us call this as equation 236 here, and therefore that takes care of 3 different parts of the question. There is one more part that is remaining. For that, let us consider H as a function of S and P. You can consider whatever as function of the relevant variables. In this case, let us consider enthalpy as a function of entropy and pressure. If you do this, dH can be written as dou H dou S at constant P ds, dou H dou P at constant S dP. Now if you take the partial of that with respect to P at constant temperature, dou H dou P at constant T, this is the quantity that we need, is dou H dou S at constant P, which is the first term that came from the previous total differential writing, and of course dou S dou P at constant T, and this again comes from the partial differential writing, the total differential expansion dou H dou P at constant S, and here dP would be there, you take the partial derivative dou P at constant T. Very easy to see that this goes to 1. Now comparison with the terms on the right hand side of the total differential, dH equals Tds plus VdP, this is the total differential of dH. We can write that dou H dou S at constant P equals T, and dou H dou P at constant S equals V. Therefore, dou H dou P at constant T, which is the one that we require, is nothing but T dou S dou P at constant T plus V. So we have gotten all 4 quantities that we were required to get. If you look at it, it was essentially manipulation, appropriate manipulation of the mathematical relationships to get whatever we needed. This is still in terms of dou S dou P at constant T, and this is not completely in terms of easily measurable variables, but using the relationship between dou S dou P at constant T that we had given in equation 235 earlier. You can look at equation 235, we have numbered that, yeah, dou S dou T at constant P is Cp by T. We can write dou H dou P at constant T equals minus T dou V dou T at constant P plus V. This is the other relationship which brings dou S dou P at constant T in terms of V, T and P. We will call this equation 237. That completes the solution. Now let us look at some of the other variables which are somewhat easily measurable, and more importantly for which data is available in terms of tables and figures in various sources, including the appendices of your textbook Smith, Van Ness and Abbott. We are going to look at 2 things, expansivity and compressibility. Once we have some values associated with these, that gives us an easier way of relating things to unknown aspects. Expansivity is defined as 1 by V dou V dou T at constant P. That is the way, that is the definition of alpha, the variation of volume with time or specific volume with time at constant pressure for which is normalized with respect to the volume itself, the specific volume itself. Let us call that equation 238, and compressibility, which is given the symbol kappa, is defined as dou V dou P at constant T, the variation of specific volume with pressure when the temperature is held constant, and that again normalized with respect to specific volume and the negative of it. Let us call this equation 239. So with these 2 definitions, it is much easier to get a feel of these of the use of these definitions alpha and kappa, compressibility and expansivity and compressibility, if we work out an example or an exercise, that is exercise 2.4 here. For a closed system containing 1 mole of a pure substance, express the variation of entropy, enthalpy and internal energy. These three are somewhat more difficult to measure. The variation of these with pressure for an isothermal process in terms of more easily measurable properties such as pressure, volume, temperature, alpha, kappa, expansivity, compressibility, etc. Note that this is an isothermal process and therefore the temperature is held constant there. This will take some thinking, so take about 15 to 20 minutes or so to work out this problem, and probably after about 10 minutes I will give you a part of the solution to help you in further solution. Go ahead. Okay, let us look at the part of the solution now. We have already seen, if you go back and look at equation 236, that dou S dou P at constant t is minus dou V dou t at constant p, and using the definition of alpha which was given in equation 238, alpha 1 by V dou V dou t at constant p, we get dou S dou P at constant t, the left hand side is nothing but alpha times V. This is dou V dou t at constant p, and we saw what alpha was. So, this the right hand side becomes alpha times V with a minus sign from here. Also, we have seen from that equation 237, dou H dou P at constant t equals minus T dou V dou t at constant p plus V. Let me call this equation 240. I have started you on this process, so take some more time to see whether you can build up on this, develop on this, and get the internal energy, enthalpy and entropy in terms of easily measurable or variables for which data is available, such as P, V, T, alpha and kappa. Go ahead please. Okay, let us look at the remainder of the solution. Using the definition of alpha again 1 by v dou t at constant p, we can write the dou h dou p at constant t in the previous equation as minus t alpha v plus v. You can see this here, minus t alpha v plus v. Okay, and if you factorize a v out, you can write this as 1 minus alpha t the whole into v. Let us call this equation 241. So this takes care of the variation of enthalpy with respect to pressure in an isothermal process, the constant temperature process, in terms of alpha, t and v very nicely. Now let us consider internal energy. We all know that definition of enthalpy, which is internal energy plus PV, you can write U internal energy equals H enthalpy minus PV, and now if you differentiate this expression with respect to P at constant T, note that we are looking for dou U dou P at constant T, and that is what we get by doing this. Dou U dou P at constant T equals dou H dou P at constant T minus, this is by chain rule, P dou V dou P at constant T minus V dou P at constant T, first function into derivative of the second function plus the second function into derivative of the first function. Of course there is a minus here. Okay, all this done at constant T. Now if we use the definitions of alpha and kappa, we can write dou U dou P at constant T, and we have already seen what the first one was, 1 minus alpha t into V. This dou H dou P at constant T is 1 minus alpha t into V, and this P dou V dou P at constant T is nothing but related to the definition of kappa, and this of course is 1, so we do not have to worry too much about that. Therefore you get dou U dou P at constant T is 1 minus alpha t into V plus P kappa V minus V, and V common out, you get kappa P minus alpha t into V. So all this is in terms of kappa P, alpha t and the specific volume, all of which are measurable. Let us call this equation 242. So that completes the relationships that we had needed in the previous problem, and what we are going to see next is some more useful mathematical manipulations from the point of view of classical thermodynamics applied to biological systems. There are of course many. I have chosen probably the most used ones to give you a flavor, so that you will feel comfortable whenever there is a need to apply these mathematical relationships. We will continue in the next class.